Hey guys, and welcome back to Super Mario 64 DS. Hey, a white rabbit. Come back here. So this is the white rabbit. There we go. Ah, don't eat me, don't eat me. I taste real bad. Whatever the rest of it goes as. So, once you've collected, or once you've caught a rabbit and it's given you the key, at random points, it will be replaced with a sparkling white rabbit. Now, I've got most of these off screen. I'm just showing you the first one, and then I'll show you. I think I'll show you the last one. Other than that, we're not really going to be seeing anything else regarding these guys. They'll just randomly pop up wherever you've already caught one. You may find yourself, it can take a while because it's completely random on when they'll show up. It could be as simple as you walk out the room, you go into a room, you catch a white rabbit, you walk out the room and you find another rabbit somewhere. Then you go back into the room you were just in and then the white rabbit will suddenly be there again. It's completely random. I caught most of them with Luigi in the same two spots. But it didn't work everywhere. There is, however, still one more rabbit that we need to collect with Wario, because it is now time that we enter the highest floor in the castle, and that takes us to the final two levels of the game. Because in this part, we are making our way to what is, in the normal Super Mario 64, by far and away, my least favourite level in the entire game. Thankfully, there are some big improvements when it comes to Super Mario 64 DS. Firstly, you could play as other characters, and trying to do some of this stuff with Luigi makes it a lot easier. Unfortunately, I completely forgot that I have to do this. Why can't I just go through the door? Literally, once you have the stars, anybody can go through the door, but for some reason it has to be Mario that opens the door. I really don't get that. If every other character then has access to it, why can't we just do this from the start? All we need is the stars and we share the stars. Fine. Let's go back first, switch to Mario, then go back. No, I think I stayed here as Mario for a bit, actually. But whichever way around we're doing things, we've got to open the door so that we can gain access to the final two levels of the game. One, it puts your platforming skills to the test, the other doesn't. The other one is kind of you just wasting around. So the level that we are entering in this part is known as Tick Tock Clock. And kind of like some of the other levels we've been to, mainly the likes of what they call Tiny Huge Island and Reverse.
You finally made it this far, Mario! Bowser is waiting on the top floor! Please rescue Peach! Oh, I almost forgot! There's something odd about the clock! As you jump in, watch the position of the big hand! Oh, look what I found! Here, Mario, catch!
Our final Toad Star. So similar to Tiny Huge Island and Wet Dry World, there is a bit of a gimmick to how you jump into this painting. This time it is all about the position of the big hand on the clock. Do I go up there? No, I didn't. I couldn't remember which one was Rainbow Ride and which one wasn't. So I just decided, you know what? We'll worry about that later. There's our final way out. Even that hurts. So it's all about where the position of the big hand is. In this case, the big hand was on the 12. So nothing is moving at all. Welcome to Tick Tock Clock. The worst level in the original Super Mario 64. But here, it's not so bad for a number of reasons. Number one, you have other characters to play as, so characters like Luigi and Yoshi can make the platforming a bit easier. Number two, there are a number of changes to the level design. In particular, that brings us to number three. There's actually a floor at the bottom of the clock. So all this was here, this is nothing new. But on the fast, only about half of the ground was covered with a floor. The rest of it was a bottomless pit. But here, I think there's still a pit in the middle, but other than that, you actually have a floor. So if you fall down, you'll be okay. You still have to climb all the way back up again, But you won't lose any of your progression. As in, like, if you're going for the 100 coins or something, you won't lose any of your progression. And you won't lose any lives. It's glorious! I love it so much. That said, getting the 100 coin mission here is still a pain. But yeah, all this I'm walking on, I mean, this part was already here. But other than that, it's all new. This is a waste of time. For starters, I try going after the 100 coin missions and then it sort of all goes wrong. So I just decided, right, let's just get a move on. And let's just do the other mission on the way up. So as you can see, things are moving now. The way it works is it all depends on what number on the clock the big hand is on when you jump in. If you go in when it's on 12, nothing is moving at all, which sort of limits your progression. I don't know if maybe Luigi can bypass some of it. Probably can't do that for every mission. But in the original, most definitely, you can only go so far. If you go in at 3, certain things will be moving, such as these. These will be rotating, the hands will be moving, the cogs will be swinging, and all sorts of stuff. These things come out of the walls. If you enter when you go in at 6, everything kind of sort of goes back and forth. So it's a little bit on the weird side, like those spinning platforms where the red coins are. They'll be turning one way and then they'll start turning the other way. The blocks will all rotate at different points in time. So I highly advise you don't jump in when you get to 6. Damn it, down I go. See, that would have killed me in the original. If you go in when it's on 9, I've so rarely done that. I think what it is the same as going in on 3, but everything moves much faster. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. So if you're gonna go in with anything moving, go in when it gets to 3. Down I go again. But there are points where you for the most part, you're going to want to just go in on 12, but you can only go so far when you do that. So you are going to have to go in with things moving at some point. Otherwise, there's kind of no point to the gimmick. The problem is that because of how clunky normal 64's controls are, trying to do some of this stuff is next to impossible. This, I mean, I've already said that Tiny Huge Island is the level that kills the normal 64. But this is a, well, I say a close second, this is where I usually go after Tiny Huge Island. But this is the worst. This one really is the worst. You can see there's a star in this cage. This is actually, this star is exclusive to the DS version. As in, it's slightly altered. The level design and the way of getting in there is completely different between the two versions. We'll be seeing how to get to that at the end. First, watch out, we've got another, I think they're called heave-hoes. Heave-hoes? I don't know. I think this is where I decided, you know what, forget the 100 coin mission, because I believe I tried going after these blue coins, and then it doesn't go well. Right, where is it? Where is it? Down I go, all the way back to the bottom. And this is where I decided, screw it. let's just climb back up, and I'm just gonna go after the first star I get to. It's a very simple star to get. All we have to do is just ride on the hand. It takes forever when you're going at the speed of the quarter past, or whatever you want to call it. I did it first thing that on my first playthrough, I thought it was the hour hand, which was wrong. So I'd wait forever for the arrow, for the hand on the clock to go all the way back around. Then I realised, oh wait, it's the minute hand. Yeah, this takes a bit. So yeah, I still move when I'm on the thing when I get shocked. That's why I never understood snake blocks in Mario games. Every other platform, Mario moves with the platform. Why doesn't he move with snake blocks? The end result is why I absolutely hate snake blocks. They're my least favourite gimmick in all of Mario. Ow. think this is where I decided to go after the rabbit Wario now. He's stuck on the stairs. How do you get stuck on the stairs? Right, is this where I switch to Wario? No, I don't. I'm just going to go straight to Luigi. Alright, that might be at the beginning of the next part. Whatever it was I went after that one rabbit, there's only 2 rabbits left to get, other than the white ones. Because the final rabbit, I believe it's a Luigi rabbit, and we have to collect all 150 stars. Which we are very close to doing. After all, we've only got 2 levels left. Still got a couple of the castle stars. Because we've still got 4 to... There's still 2 to get in the final Bowser level. 2 to get in the other Wing Cat level. And then there's like 1 other one somewhere. Alright. So now things can become a hell of a lot easier. So I think so now the platforming is almost a complete non-issue. I imagine you could probably actually go in here with the timer on 12 and you'll be fine. You may not be able to get to the entire thing, particularly the star at the very, very top, but other than that, this thing shouldn't be much of an issue now because we're Luigi. We can jump higher, we can backflip super far. Why am I bothering with this? You cannot do this mission unless you enter the clock on 12. It's the only way you're going to be able to do this. I don't know how I did that. It's out of the way. What kind of clock is this? I mean, I'm not familiar with the inside of a clock, but I don't think they look like this. Oh no! You can actually skip all this entirely. Luigi can backflip just up to this ledge. Like, from the floor. Try and get your timing right with this. Tricky to do. You can't really be sure what direction the block is going to rotate, so in the end you're just going to go back down before you can get onto the 3rd block. You don't need to worry about that. There is actually a wall blocking those rotating platforms there. It doesn't do much. It's just there's a wall there, like a grated wall in the original. That was for some reason removed here. I don't know why. I mean, adding the floor, I get. Slightly changing some of the missions to make them character specific, I get. Removing a small grated wall, that I don't get. The Switch Star is also a somewhat unique mission. It does replace one of the stars in the original game, but only very slightly. So I'm not really bothering to showcase the original version of that mission, because it's pretty much the same thing. It's just... Where am I going? There's blue coins over there. I'm trying to get this thing, that's why. It's like you still have to come over here. There's a Goomba here as well. And there is a... You can see that's where the Switch Star is. So that is all there. That's all there in the original, it's just that you don't need to worry about getting a Switch Star. The star is just there and you've got to get over there. I think it's called the Pit and the Pendulums. But yeah, this would be in the original version, or if you're playing as Mario, Wario, Yoshi, I'm not sure. But that would be where you would get stuck. You wouldn't be able to progress any further than that. I don't remember how I got lost there. The only problem you do have at the backflip is that you are going to get slowed. Oh no! It is going to slow you down for the actual landing. I mean, you could argue that this is Well, no, I guess you can't argue with this, really. And in some cases it might be if you fall all the way down, have to climb all the way back up again. Maybe actually dying is helpful, but that only works if the climb has checkpoints on it. Here, no. It's either you fall down and you have to start again, or you fall down and you don't have to start again. You just have to climb all the way back up. So, I mean, if you fall down and you're trying to do get to the top of the clock mission, yeah, you are technically starting all over again. But stuff like the 100 coin mission, well, I've still got 77 coins. I love that it added a floor. I completely forgot they added a floor, so when I got here, I was like, oh my god, there's a floor! There's a floor! I don't know how I forgot that. I've played DS before. This is my third playthrough of the DS version. I think I've played both versions 3 times now, counting this. Which is weird. It's my least favourite 3D Mario game, and it's also the one that I've played the most. Technically, because there's 2 versions of it. I say technically, but I mean it sort of depends how you count Galaxy. Do you count it as 1 playthrough or 2 playthroughs? Because you have to play the game twice to unlock the final level. Which is always my biggest gripe with Galaxy. It's like, I love Galaxy, but having to unlock the grand finale Galaxy is a tedious process because you have to play the exact same thing twice. The only difference is that you play as the character that plays normally, and then you play as Luigi, who jumps a little bit higher and slides all over the place. That's it. Otherwise, you're just playing Super Mario Galaxy again. It's the only reason, really, of why I prefer Galaxy 2 to 1. As much as I don't like going after the green stars, at least you're not playing the entire game all over again. Otherwise, I do prefer Galaxy 1. I think Galaxy 1 has a better story. I prefer Rosalina to Lubba. I think Galaxy 1, while it's a pretty easy game... Oh, Jesus Christ. They didn't fall all the way down. While it's a pretty easy game overall, I find Galaxy 2 gets too difficult a bit too fast. Like you have a few difficult levels, but for the most part it's all pretty simple, but then suddenly you get to World 5, and then it just nosedives and it's a much harder game. Yeah, I'm fine with it being hard, I just don't like it when the difficulty jumps up so fast. There's a black block there, thankfully they give you a Wario cap right here. So we'll worry about that afterwards. But yeah, I do think that structure-wise, 64 is great. You know, it's got great replayability because you can go after the stars in any order you want. That's one thing I never got a criticism for 3D Land and 3D World yet. People don't like to acknowledge them as the 3D games, you know, despite the title. Well, I mean, I don't acknowledge Sonic 3D Blast as a 3D title, but aside from that, I'm just really annoyed. I'm so glad this happened because I don't think there's any other stars I can get. I got lucky there. Not as lucky as I'll get in Rainbow Ride. We'll see. We'll see that later on. It's like people don't acknowledge 3D Land and 3D World despite the titles as 3D games, and the only criticism I ever see, the only reason why I ever see is because they say, well, it's not sandbox game. Okay, that doesn't mean that it isn't 3D. Yeah. Sonic Unleashed doesn't look like Sonic Adventure, but it's still 3D. Yeah, sometimes they say 2.5D. I think, isn't that what New Super Mario Bros. Is? That's 2D with 3D graphics, isn't it? I do get confused between them sometimes, but 3D World and 3D Land are 3D games. They just play closer to the 2D games. Doesn't mean that they're not 3D. I can move about in any direction. It's 3D. And again, they bring up the whole sandbox argument. Okay, we have what? Counting 64 as 1 here. I normally count them as 2, but counting them as 1. We have what? 7 3D Mario games? Only 2 of them are sandbox games. Sunshine's debatable. I don't tend to count Sunshine as the sandbox game because although the levels are big and open, you could still only go after one shine sprite at a time. And usually the shine sprites are restricted to just one portion of the map. Not always, but sometimes they are. So I don't really get how Sunshine is a sandbox game. But the other thing is, they'll still say that the Galaxy games count as 3D games. But they're certainly not sandbox, they're straight linear levels. A few levels are a bit more open. You've got stuff like Beach Bowl Galaxy. That's about it. there's a few in Galaxy 1, I don't think there's quite as many in Galaxy 2, but... You know, you're going from point to point. Sometimes you'll revisit the same area, sometimes you don't. But they're straightforward linear levels. They're not sandbox, so why do the Galaxy games count as 3D, but not 3D Land and 3D World? So, Mario fans, make up your minds. You're like the one fan base that actually, you know, can still be called a fan base. You actually know what the word fan means. It's a load of blades that spin around and blow cool air at you. Get out of my way! It's like the Mario fan base is the one fan base I actually like. Well, that and Simpsons fans. Simpsons fans, they, well, we all think that the Simpsons should have finished a long time ago. This is a weird one. If you hit this block, all you're going to do is, you collect the vanished cap, or the vanished flower. All you're going to do is just go right through the floor, and then hope that you land in the right spot. You fall through here, take damage, fall down here and take damage again. What is the point of that? I don't get it. So that replaces the original mission, where all you have to do is you're just climbing on a few conveyor belts, and then there's a gap. If you want to avoid the star, you just climb over it.
Let's go.
So now we have the Pendulum Switch Star, which I think in the original is called the Pit and the Pendulums. This star is otherwise not really that different. Whoops. Actually, I can do this. Yeah, this star hasn't really changed that much. It's a switch star now, but other than that, I don't think the level design is really any different. They may have taken out a platform or something, because I remember the blue coins are along all of the narrow beams, rather than all being in that one big triangle, but other than that, I don't think this one has really changed that much. This is the most pointlessly placed conveyor belt. Why is that there? Give up. The characters are a bit picky when they actually want to grab ledges. The thing is, I say that, what is the limit? Like, what is my limit when it comes to collecting all of the items in a Mario game? Because I find this to be pretty simple overall. Collecting 120/150 stars is pretty simple. Going after all the rabbits is a bit annoying in DS, but that's fine. Obviously, there's also the matter of just what the experience is like actually trying to get the stars, and that's where Sunshine comes in. Because Sunshine, trying to get all 120 shine sprites, is not really that fun. You have the Chuckster mission, you have the Lily Pad mission, you have ridiculous number of blue coins. You have to do the same missions over and over again. Sunshine is probably my least favourite one to go after 100%. Maybe. All of them have their flaws. 64 because I just don't like it. Sunshine because, well, I'm sure if you're just going straight to after Bowser, it's fine. But trying to get everything is not fine. But then you have Galaxy, where just going after 120 stars is great. It's fantastic. It's a little bit tedious going after all the purple coin missions, but other than that, Galaxy is great. But then you have to play the game twice in order to unlock the final 2 stars, which itself is the same mission twice. To unlock Grand Finale Galaxy, you just have to play the entire game again. And while Luigi is probably the better experience, you've already just played the game. Now you gotta do it again, just to unlock the final level. If Luigi was just the prize, that would be great, but no, we have to do it again to be able to go out to get the final level. And then Galaxy 2 improves it a bit, but you're still playing the same missions. You know, there's new gimmicks. Okay, so this level design is slightly different. There's a lot more narrow beams and everything, but other than that, you're basically doing the same thing. There's just no switch star. But going after the green stars is still a tedious process. You're doing the same levels over and over again, stopping at certain points to try and get a star that's usually very hard to grab. But it's better than playing the game twice. I jumped in at the wrong point here, so everything is sort of going to be going in all different directions. Here's the thing though, because of the level design, the silver stars are all just bouncing all over the place. And as a result, they all just fall down here. There's only one that doesn't fall down here. Look how simple I kept 4 of these already. That's 1. And then there's 2. And then there's 3. And then there's 4. Unfortunately, the 5th one decides not to come down here. He's still bouncing around at the top. So this took a while. So now I decide to hit the fast forward. No, I probably should have done this for the 100 coin mission, but anyway. It does fall down occasionally, but it then just falls right down into the bottomless pit right in the middle. I couldn't make out where exactly the star is. Because the map doesn't really tell you anything. Nope, it's not here. Anyway, going back to the whole fully completing it. Technically, the only 3D Mario game I haven't fully completed is actually my favourite, 3D World. Because you have to play every single level with every single character to get all the stamps. But you don't need to do that to unlock Champions Road. And the other 2 levels. You know, that's fine with multiplayer. You still have to play because you're still limited to 4 people and there's 5 characters. You still have to play each level twice. But it's a much faster process. You don't have to play every level 5 times. You don't have to do Champions Road 5 times. Which I've never been able to complete with anyone other than Peach. Oh, yeah. And then you have, there's technically the whole thing with the flashy stars on the profile. As long as you don't make the, cheating thing appear, but I don't count that. And then there was Odyssey, which just takes forever. Especially if you want to go after all the costumes, which they've now added more since I played it. It's the only one I haven't played more than once, mainly because it's the newest one. But going after all of the moons in Odyssey, that was a tedious process. They went way too far. And I still get such a random number, it's like 870 something. It's such a random number, and then you just have to buy the rest to get it to 999. It's like, did they really have to have that many? I mean, I'm interested in seeing where the series goes after this. That's one thing about Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, changed things up so much. It's like, how do you follow this up? I mean, we're going to find out. We've got Breath of the Wild 2 coming. Whether or not the Switch will get a sequel as Mario game, I don't know. It tends, aside from the Wii, it tends to be one Mario game per console. So why is this removed? There's no reason for it to be there in the first place, but why is this removed? See how slowly I'm taking things. This is what changed. Other than that, it's not really much. Come on. There we go. And that's that. Well, there's only one level left, and that will be Rainbow Ride. So, I will see you guys then. Once we've done that, we can finish the game.